Welcome to another Cardano update. Like always, make sure to check out our YouTube memberships and our Patreon if you want access to all of our charts and if you want access to our daily Discord updates. So in this video, I want to talk about something very important. I want to talk about the weekly, but before I do that, let's quickly look at the 4-hour because as you can see, the setup looks a bit different today. Yesterday, we had a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 setup on the chart, and we even got a bounce after my video. As you can see, we got to about 68.5 cents. However, this is not enough for a fifth wave to the upside. The target for the fifth wave was at around 69 cents, meaning that maybe this is actually an ABC structure for the B wave of a much bigger ABC structure for the second wave move down. This has been my main scenario for a couple of days now. I'm still expecting Bitcoin to go a bit lower right now. As you know, on the weekly chart, if you go on the RSI, we need that trend line to be tested, and if it's not tested, I think Bitcoin is not gonna do too well. So the best case scenario right now is that we go a bit lower, we test the trend line, and then we bounce, and that's gonna give us new all-time highs. And during this time, you can expect Cardano to get a short-term move to the downside, which is just gonna act as an ABC structure for the first 1-2 setup. And after this is completed, I'm still expecting a third wave to the upside. The target for that is at $1.04, but yeah, if we do not manage to hold this other support level, which is between 62.6 cents and 61 cents, it means that this is not a 1-2 setup, and it means that it might just be some kind of maybe 1-2 setup for the C wave to the downside, meaning that the price might start breaking down very soon. So even if we find support at the 618 right here and we get some type of short-term, move to the upside, it could just be a 1-2 setup for the C wave to the downside. So if we do not manage to get above 67 cents, then we are probably dropping all the way down to, let's say, 55 cents, or in the worst case scenario, even 52 cents just for Bitcoin to get to $100,000, and just for the RSI on the Bitcoin chart on the weekly to test the trend line. We talked about this yesterday. I'm not going to repeat it too much in this video. Instead, in this video, I want to talk about my long-term targets for ADA, because yesterday, I don't know if you watched the video, but I said that if ADA does not manage to get to $3.50 by November, or by the end of November, then it's probably not going to get to $5 or $8 by the end of January. I think many people got confused by what I said, and they thought that, my long-term targets for ADA are no longer valid because, maybe I changed my mind, but no, I did not change my mind. I think Cardano might still do pretty well, and I think there is a very big chance that we get a huge move to the upside in November, because historically, Cardano goes up quite a lot in November. As you can see here, for example, it went up about, let's say, 4x in a matter of a couple of weeks last year, and in 2023, it was the exact same thing. As you can see, we went from 22 cents all the way up to like 78 cents or so. So why am I saying that we might not get to $5 to $8 by the end of January? Well, it's pretty easy to understand. We're not really gonna have time to complete a 4 and a 5 if the third wave only gets completed in January. So let's say we just go sideways right now. Let's say we do absolutely nothing until maybe the middle of December or even the beginning of January, and then at some point we start the C wave of the third wave. After that happens, I cannot guarantee that we're gonna get an ABC down and then another fifth wave to the upside, because if you look at 2017, when we had the altcoin season, let's say it started in November, during that time we went from 2 cents all the way up to like $1.30. If you look at how many corrections we had when we, had this move, we did not really have any corrections. If we only start the pump, let's say in the middle of December, or let's say at the beginning of January, we're not really gonna have time to get a 4 and a 5, because here, for example, we never really went down too much. So let's say we get to $3.50 by the end of January. What's gonna happen after that is pretty clear to me. Everybody's going to think that maybe this is some kind of ABC structure for the fourth wave move down. I don't think that's possible, because if you look at the Bitcoin dominance chart, it gets new lows in January, about, let's say, 1 or 2 months after Bitcoin tops, and right now I believe Bitcoin will probably top by, let's say, November or December of this year, meaning that after that we're gonna expect a big move to the downside on the Bitcoin dominance chart. And I'm expecting Bitcoin dominance to be at around 41 to 45% by January, because that's exactly what happened over here and over there as well. And if that happens, I don't think we're gonna really have time to get a 4 and a 5 on this chart, because after we get that big move to the downside on the Bitcoin dominance chart, it's probably gonna get a bounce, which could look something like this. And I have no idea if we're gonna get a move to the downside after that, so that's why I don't want to risk it. Of course, you could risk it, and maybe you could say that we're gonna top after January, and if you want to do that, that's your decision. But me personally, I think we're gonna top in January, and whatever happens before that is important, yes, obviously, but if we do not manage to get to $3.50 by the end of November, I still think that this is a good target for January, because this AB structure is still valid at the end of the day. As you can see, we got to the 0.618 support level about 3 times and we bounced each time, meaning that at some point we still have to get this move to the upside. But if we do not get it by the end of November, it means that we're still gonna get it, but you know, after that we're probably not gonna get a 4 and a 5 because we're not gonna have too much time to do that. So right now, if Bitcoin manages to get to $100,000 by the end of October, and if it manages to test the trend line on the weekly RSI, there is a chance that we actually start going up in November, which is gonna lead to a big move to the upside on the Ethereum chart, and that's gonna lead to an altcoin season because Ethereum will probably break its all-time highs because we're expecting a fifth wave of the fifth wave, and historically the altcoin season only starts after Ethereum breaks its all-time highs. Getting to $3.50 is definitely possible. I mean, from where we're at right now, let's actually see how much that would be. To get to $3.50, that would be a 450% move to the upside, and for those saying that it's unrealistic, if you take a look at what we did last year, from that low right there, we went up about, let's say, 300%, and in the previous year before that, in 2023, it was about 270%. So I think it's definitely possible to get a move like this because, first of all, if Bitcoin dominance breaks down, you can expect the altcoin market to go crazy, and second of all, historically Cardano goes up quite a lot in November or October, so I think we could be on the right path right here. But like I said, if we do not manage to do anything in November and if the price just keeps going down, we're probably still gonna get the third wave, but after that, that's gonna pretty much start the bear market. So I hope you enjoyed. If you did, make sure to check out our YouTube memberships and our Patreon if you want access to all of our charts, and if you want access to our daily Discord updates. Like, subscribe, and I will see you in the next one.